Hi, my name is Melinda from Ohio. Please like and subscribe. This is my crazy story about how I came to work for my high school bully and how he didn't even recognize me. Can you believe it? Talk about life after high school jerk 2.0. Anyway, the story started with me getting my absolute dream job. I got to work at my dream company in LA, working as the lead event planner of Bexley Star Weddings and Events. And I got to work side by side with CEO of the company and world-renowned event planner, Amelia Bexley. She has planned weddings and events for high-profile celebrities and even the royal family. And I was lucky enough to get this amazing opportunity to work with her. I told myself that I was going to take this chance to study under the best of the best. And maybe someday I will get to work with high-profile clients like Miss Bexley has. Once I got the email saying I got the job, I dropped everything and packed my bags for the first flight out to LA. Star Weddings had an assistant assigned to me. She set up my flights and apartment, and when I landed, there was a car outside waiting for me. Hi, my name is Fiona. I have been assigned by the Bexleys as your own personal assistant. Welcome to LA. Fiona took me to my new apartment, and wow! They set up a gorgeous penthouse suite with an amazing view of the city. Wow! All of this for me? Miss Bexley wanted the best for her new lead planner. She expects great things from you. Yikes! That sounds like a lot of pressure. But I was up for the challenge. This was the job I've been dreaming of ever since I was in middle school. The next morning, I put on a chic but professional outfit that makes me feel confident and powerful. I'm going to take the first day by storm. I arrived at the Star Weddings building and got my ID and paperwork sorted out. Suddenly, I saw everybody filing into the conference hall. The front desk secretary informed me that there's a company-wide announcement that Miss Bexley would like to make. Miss Bexley? I was so excited! I finally got to see Miss Bexley in the flesh! I followed everybody into the conference hall, and I took a seat in the back. There were murmurs filling the whole hall. People were wondering what was going on. It must have been some kind of surprise meeting. Finally, Miss Bexley entered the stage and everyone went silent. Oh my gosh, she was as glamorous and elegant as she looked on TV. I was so starstruck and on the edge of my seat, wondering what the great Miss Bexley had to say. Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to see our team all in one place. I have an urgent announcement to make. As you all know, I'm not getting any younger, and I think that it's time for me to step down as CEO. What? I couldn't believe my ears. All I ever wanted was to work with Amelia Bexley, and the universe was so cruel to have her retire the day I stepped into her building? Another body stepped on the stage, and I had a sudden tightness in my chest. Those green eyes, that dark fluffy hair. He looks older than I last saw him. But there's no doubt about it. It was my old high school bully, Luke. This is my grandson, Luke Bexley. Double what? Wait a freaking second. Luke, my old high school bully, the boy who on numerous occasions made fun of me and my clothes, shoved me in his locker until the end of lunch, and locked me in the janitor's closet until I was finally found by someone? This evil whose spirit animal is the monster from under my bed? He is Amelia Bexley's grandson? Now that I think of it, I never bothered to learn his last name back in high school. But I would never have associated him with Miss Bexley, even if they had the same last name. Amelia announced that Luke is going to be taking over the company immediately, and my heart sank. I thought all the high school torment was over, but it was just going to start all over again. At my workplace. When the meeting came to an end, I raced out of there and made a beeline to the elevator. I stepped in and took a deep breath. It's fine. We're both professionals at a very big company. Maybe he won't even bring up the past. But still, I had this sinking feeling that I wasn't going to get the respect I wanted from him here of all places, where he once again has complete control over me. I saw Luke and a few others head towards the elevators. I don't know if it was his long legs taking big strides or my anxiety causing me to hallucinate, but it looked like he was speed walking to get to my elevator. Frantically, I spammed the buttons to close the door, and just before he could reach my elevator, the doors closed on him, and I hid close to the wall so he wouldn't see me. I made it to the top floor where my office is supposed to be. When the elevator doors open, I see a few big offices with glass doors and windows, and in the middle of the room was full of cubicles. I walked around the room and found my name on the corner office next to the CEO's office. Great. I dreaded the fact that Luke's office is right next to mine. But all of that negative energy was relinquished when I see how gorgeous my office was. My desk is in the corner with big windows showing an awesome view of the city. I saw some files of jobs sitting on my desk that I can start on right away, so I turned on my computer and got right to work. Crazily enough, I got through the whole day without seeing Luke one bit. I thought he'd be going around introducing himself. Oh well, works for me. I got a text, and when I opened it, I saw it was from Miss Bexley. She was inviting me out to dinner so that the new lead planner could meet the new CEO. Just my luck. As much as I'd like to decline, it was still dinner with Miss Bexley, and I wanted to make a good impression. I had to go. That night, I put on a nice dress and went to the restaurant Miss Bexley said to meet at. It was a fancy French restaurant. I saw Miss Bexley at a table, and she waved me over. I sat down and stared at the other empty seat. Good evening, Miss Bexley. Good evening, Melinda. It's nice to finally put a face to my new lead planner. To Luke's new lead planner. Where is Luke, by the way? Comfortable enough to call the CEO by his first name? I flinched when I heard Luke's voice. It's deeper, but his condescending tone hadn't changed much. Luke sits down and stares at me. I stare back at him, scared of whatever first thing would come out of his mouth. Luke holds his hand out to me for a handshake. Nice to meet you, Melinda. I'm Luke Bexley, but you already knew that. I was so confused. Of course, I already knew who he is. We went to high school together. But he sounded like we were meeting for the first time. I just cautiously shook his hand. You don't have to be nervous. As of today, we're colleagues. Right, sorry. So, where are you from, Melinda? Then it hit me. He didn't remember me. Or maybe he just doesn't recognize me? I was kind of an ugly duckling back in the day and had a huge glow-up phase during college, but I didn't think I looked that different. Luke, darling, Melinda is from Ohio, just like you. Oh? Which school did you go to? I went to Marigold High School. It's very small. You probably never heard of it. Oh, really? I went to Northwood. What year did you graduate? 2015. Same here. Luke thinks this is small talk going well, but I felt so guilty. I looked down at the menu to avoid eye contact, but I could feel Miss Bexley staring at me. Oh no, I just lied in front of Miss Bexley and the new CEO. Miss Bexley had read my file. She probably knows I lied about which high school I went to. I looked up at Miss Bexley to try and read what she was thinking. Is she going to fire me? I think I've already made the worst impression. But Miss Bexley only smiled softly at me. She then directed the conversation away from me. I think I'll start with the French onion soup. Miss Bexley glanced back at me and gave me a wink. I felt so much relief that she isn't going to hold this against me. The rest of the dinner was spent in pleasant conversation. I hate to admit it, but Luke was actually quite charming. Back in high school, so many girls were all over him, but I never understood. He was such a jerk. But maybe they knew he was a Bexley, and so they couldn't resist his money and charms. I suppose good looks had something to do with that too. The next morning, I went to work and the elevator doors opened. My eyes focused straight ahead to see the CEO's office. Luke was already there, working. His eyes glanced up at me, and instead of leaving the elevator and waving hi, I hid behind the wall and allowed the door to close on me. Hold on, why am I still scared of him? He doesn't even remember me. And so far, he hadn't bullied me one bit. I pressed the button to open the elevator doors and was jump-scared by a grinning Luke holding the door open this time. I thought it was weird that you hid in the elevator.
maybe I said something wrong over dinner last night. But then it came to me. You were the one who closed the elevator door on me yesterday as well.
That was not me.
Sure it wasn't.
Luke stepped into the elevator with me, and I took a step back, letting him back me into a corner.
I don't know what I did to you, but you either don't like me very much, or you're scared of me.
Luke had pinned me in a corner, leaving me helpless like he used to back in high school. And after all this, he still didn't recognize me. All those years of torment, and he couldn't remember what he'd done. That made me mad. I knew it was time to turn things on him. You have got to be kidding me.
Excuse me?
I can't believe after all I had to endure from you, you're just going to get away with it by being forgetful? Luke just stared at me for a few awkward seconds before an angry expression appeared on his face.
Okay, you are quite literally pushing my buttons. I don't even know what you're talking about, and you're getting mad at me with no real explanation.
There was another few seconds of awkward but intense silence. My whole body was buzzing and my hands were shaking. I couldn't believe I just yelled at my boss. I think Luke noticed because he backed off. Just then, the elevator door opened and we were on the ground floor. People stood there staring at us. They could probably feel the thick atmosphere in this elevator shaft. But it's a busy company and time is money, so everyone filed in, and Luke and I straightened ourselves out. We rode up to the top floor in silence, and once the doors opened, we walked to our office doors. Luke?
Melinda, I apologize for how I behaved back there. It was unprofessional and out of hand.
No, we have to work together every day, so you deserve an explanation.
If it makes you uncomfortable, you don't have to explain.
I went to Northwood High as well. To be continued. Make sure you click here if you'd like to see part 2 of the story.